Okay, this video is about the conspiracy world and celebrities in Hollywood entertainment. Now, there is an overwhelming perception out there that the majority of stars and the majority of people who are celebrities have had to have sold their souls in order to have gotten into the positions that they are in. Now, personally, I can verify that there's probably some truth to this. I almost ended up getting signed and labeled by Universal Records. I'm not going to go too far into the story, but I can tell you that there were certain realities that were made very clear to me. And this is the very reason why ultimately I ended up coming home without a contract. I was flown to LA and then had a real good time in Vegas, partied with some major faces and names, and all of which will just remain nameless. At the end of the day, again, came home with nothing. But I want you to understand that every celebrity that exists out there, every single person who is in the spotlight or the limelight, they had to do many things to get where they are at, and a lot of them had to work extremely hard to be in the situation that they're in. Now, there are many problems that occur because of people and their perception of what a star should be. They have these ideals that the star, the human being, is somehow on a higher tier than they are, that they're on a pedestal. And the thing is people don't mind putting these stars on pedestals. It seems to me that it is a choice. Otherwise, we wouldn't have entertainment magazines like People magazine. We wouldn't have all of these outlets out there that are geared towards watching celebrities and, getting every bit of dirt on them. Now, I want you to think about that carefully. Not only does society itself as a whole, each individual person, consume that image, okay, then they have people out there whose lives, how they make their living is by following celebrities around everywhere they go and catching them doing anything and everything that they possibly can. Now, I can tell you this, the majority of people wouldn't be able to live under those circumstances. As a matter of fact, the majority of people are upset because the NSA is wiretapping. The majority of people are upset because the NSA has the ability to use satellites on us, or the government has the ability to spy on us. Now, just imagine if you had these people who do it in broad daylight, follow you around everywhere you go, and everything that you do is right there to be consumed, is served up on a silver platter for the entire population to consume at will. Now, let's get into something that's really interesting. Let's talk about the idea that they do have to sell their souls to the devil. Let's just go ahead and entertain that idea. So they sell their souls to the devil in exchange for fame and fortune. So for the prospects of fame and fortune, they completely sell everything out to the devil, and then the devil in exchange gives them, makes them a representative of the machine, and then gives them the ideal life. The ideal life where they can live whatever they want, whatever fantasy, whatever drugs. It's just served up on a silver platter to them. But the thing is if you think about it carefully, the artist wouldn't actually be selling their soul to the devil. The devil would only act as an intermediary. He would act more or less as a middleman, because the product has to still be sold in this physical realm in order for it to count. Who buys the product? Yep, that would be us, the consumers. This is the reason why they call us consumers, because we consume that energy. Everything is made of energy. So in other words, let's just say rock and roll. Your favorite band, let's just say Pink Floyd. So Pink Floyd had to sell their soul in order to be where they're at. Well, the thing is Pink Floyd had to take their art, the stuff that they made, they had to lay it down on record. So this is the singer's energy, his voice, his vocals, his lyrics. Okay, this is the guitarist's creativity that he put down. He put all his music down, laid it down. The drummer, the bassist, they all put their stuff down there, and it took energy, it took will, it took imagination, it took that part of their souls to create the stuff in order to put it down so you could listen to it, so you could consume it. When they do that, they mass produce that energy and then they sell it worldwide. So, in other words, a piece of every bit of that artist's soul is now being broken up by the millions and being sold worldwide to millions of fans, millions of followers. And it doesn't just happen that first year. Pink Floyd, they're still selling records to this very day. So, in other words, millions upon millions upon millions upon millions now own that piece of that person's soul. Same thing happens with the celebrities that you watch on television, because that's their image, that's their energy system. When they're doing their acting, when they're doing their singing, whatever it is that you're watching, that is their soul going into it. And guess what? You are the consumer. So just imagine that. We like to put people on a pedestal, and then the very moment that they mess up, we will be the first to jump in glee and joy when they sink down into the tunnel. This whole thing with Charlie Sheen recently, people are just loving the fact that this guy has HIV. They're loving the fact that they can judge him for having what they consider to be an alternative lifestyle. Look at what happened to Ronda Rousey recently as well. So let's just look at that. Ronda Rousey was kicking butt for a while. She was, I think, 13 or 14-0. I could be wrong about that. Don't hold me to it. But the minute that that woman got beat up, because beforehand, everyone was on her bandwagon. Everyone was a big Ronda Rousey fan. I'm talking people who had never even gotten into cage fighting before or anything like that were all about Ronda Rousey. But the minute that she had her head kicked in, the next thing that happened, Holly Holm is the new champion, and now everyone thinks Ronda Rousey is lousy. Everyone thinks that she was a fluke, a fake, but I guarantee you 90% of you people who get into the ring with her aren't going to think that she's a fake after she's done with you. But that just goes to show how the society does what it does. Because there she was. When she makes a fall, when she gets knocked out, when anything happens to her, guess what? That's fed right into the media machine, and the consumers of the media machine are the ones that are there to watch that fall occur and then to completely crush her as she's down. Not only did fellow celebrities and fellow fighters do it to her, but then the whole world. I mean, we're talking it was all over every media outlet, and every media outlet had something to say about Ronda Rousey, and then they fed it to everyone who was willing to eat it. And I do mean eat it, because that's what we're doing. We're consuming that image. So if you consider that the majority of people out there are squarely involved in all these conspiracies. We're talking about the entire world is involved with this, because again, I want to make it known that they're not selling their souls to the devil. They're selling their souls to the people who are willing to consume. So that makes us a direct part of the conspiracy. That makes us a direct part of the system that most of us can't stand, most of us hate, this supposedly satanic system that forces stars to sell their souls, but then on the flip side, on the opposite side, we don't realize how we are active participants in all of this, how we are the consumers, that the consumption of that soul energy is ours. I think the most important thing here is to remember that these celebrities are people. They have mothers, they have fathers, they have children, they have people who love them just like we do. They put themselves in a position, and of course, most people are going to look at that and go, yes, I would love to be wealthy. I would love to be in the public eye. I would love to have everything at my whim at any time and at all times. And due to the jealous nature of mankind, we adore these people, but then we hate these people. We adore these people, but then we can't wait for these people to lose it all. And then we're right there to eat it up, to absorb it. Greedy eyes, greedy minds. And we don't see how we are actually participating in ensuring that this cycle that the elites do continues. If we didn't watch the stuff, if we refused to buy the People magazines and all of the other celebrity magazines and the stuff that we see on television like TMZ, where they focus entirely on celebrities, if we didn't contribute to that, it wouldn't exist the way it does. But because we do, then you can darn well bet that they're going to continue to do it. There's no reason for them to stop if we're always right there to make sure that the machine continues forward. If we're funneling our money into it, if we're looking it up on the internet, we are a part of it. So these are things that people have to look at, because oftentimes we just completely forget that we are also the problem. Human beings, not just the elites, not just the celebrities. We are an intricate part of the cycle that perpetuates the cycle. I believe that human beings need to realize that nobody is perfect, that everyone down here is flawed, and that we should all constantly be always trying to find and search for the best versions of ourselves. That way we don't look for it in stars. That way we don't look for great qualities in politicians or in elites. If we don't change ourselves from the inside, how can we expect anyone else to do the same? If we're not the ones being a part of the change, I can't really see how we can expect the elites to one day just go, you know what, we're doing something bad. We need to knock this off. We need to change. No, they're not going to do that. We are giving them every bit of reinforcement to continue doing what they're doing. I mean, if you were constantly, let's just say you were given $5 million a week to look for talent scouts, or actually to scout out talent. Let's just say you were given $5 million a week to scout out talent. Now, that's a whole lot of money for just scouting out talent, but let's just say that that's what occurred. Would you not go out there and then try to make stars out of as many people as you possibly could? Yes, you would. Most people would. $5 million? That's a lot of money, right? It's the fact that we value a monetary system so much that we would be willing to do that in the first place. If that monetary system benefits us, why would we stop? But you see, the monetary system doesn't benefit all 7 billion people on the planet. It only benefits a few 100,000 people on the planet. And there's the people who are well-to-do, millionaires, and then you got the billionaires and the trillionaires. Those are the people who the money benefits, but everyone else, it creates disparity. So, if you want something to change, then you have to be a part of that change. That's all there is to it.